Hi, welcome to my new YouTube channel. That's very weird to say. I never thought I would have a channel for anything about myself. My name is Brooke and I am on the journey to vertical sleeve gastrectomy, and I wanted to start this to document everything that I'm going through. YouTube videos, so many people have been so helpful for me as I've made this decision to go through this, and Instagrams and everything. So I wanted to share my experiences so that maybe they could help someone else. So here goes. I'm going to start with telling you how I made this decision. And it starts with about 3 years ago. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and that did not scare me. And I was willing to make the dietary adjustments and take medication, and but I thought that if I didn't lose a certain amount of weight under a certain amount of time before it got worse, then my general practitioner was going to tell me that I really had to have this bariatric surgery. So I started looking into it, and the first thing that I saw was that a lot of people lose their taste buds post-surgery. Now I know that that doesn't last forever, but at the time I just stopped reading there because it scared me so badly that I felt like, my analogy for that is that I felt like somebody was going to come and burn all of my family photos, and I wouldn't know which ones until it was time for me to go look at them, and then they were just gone. Family recipes are huge in my life, and I don't have my grandparents here anymore, and so a lot of the way that we remember them is by cooking their recipes and using their cast iron skillets and things like that. And for a long time, that's what really held me up. And then this is October right now. In July, I saw a friend of mine, and she had lost a lot of weight, and I was complimenting her and just, you know, congratulating her on what a success. And she told me that she had had the sleeve done a few months before that. And she wasn't telling a lot of people, but she felt like she should share it with me. And thank God she did, because it literally changed my life. I immediately started looking into surgery. I dove in head first. I called immediately for a consult and a recommendation from my general practitioner, and everything started flowing very quickly. I am unique in this journey because mine has gone so fast. I am self-pay. My insurance did not cover it. It's a long story, but thankfully I have the support system with my family to help me cover this, and so I've gone through the program really quickly. And I want to say that just with making this decision and it becoming firm in my mind, I had this hope that was brought into my life that I did not know was not there before. And I'm a Christian, I believe in God, and it was just like I'd been in the dark and I didn't know. I didn't know that there were parts of my life that were completely hopeless. I'm 36, I hope to get married and have children, and that is difficult at this time in my life regardless of what size I am, but being overweight has caused me to have health issues that would really make pregnancy difficult. So it changes that. It changes diabetes, it changes hypertension, all of these things. And I'll back up to say that at the beginning of 2019, I was having a really rough year, and so I started therapy. And I started journaling, and I made a list of goals for myself that I really needed to address in life and work on. And by the end of this year, so many of those goals will be checked off with the aid of this tool, VSG. And so that is where my mindset is right now. I started my program, and I'm in Northwest Arkansas. I'm going through Mercy Hospital program, and it is utterly amazing. The requirements for you to go through to get to the surgery point are so unbelievably helpful. You start with a consult, then you have a startup class, you do lab work, you go to your exercise coach. They do a walk test with you to check your heart rate and things like that. They give you pointers on how to start exercising, and they follow up with you post-op to continue that for you. Then you meet with your nutritionist one-on-one, wrap-up class, and then you meet with in a group psychology appointment, which really just reviews the basic psychology needs that you need to be aware of as you approach surgery and then throughout your recovery process and years out. And then you have a one-on-one with your psychologist that's on the team who deals with all of these bariatric patients. And we also have an awesome support group. They recommend that you go at least once. Like I said, I've been going to therapy, and I had cut down to every other week, and now I can schedule it to where I have therapy on weeks that I don't have support group. And the support group is already amazingly helpful, and I haven't even had surgery yet. It's so nice to hear people's stories, and you can tell when people come in and they're frustrated because maybe they've stalled or they're eating more than they thought that they could after surgery, or they have pain or whatever, because there are people that come in who are a week out of surgery. There's also people in support group that are 3 and 4 years post-op. So it's just amazing resource, and I can't recommend enough, as I have done this research, you find your resource team, people who have been through the program. But finding that group, I just cannot recommend enough, and it is my goal, one of my biggest goals, to maintain that for as long as it's available, which hopefully it will be there forever, and I will be a person that is 5 years post-op and still in support group. So that is that part. And then I'm looking at my phone to get notes. I started my liquids yesterday, my pre-op liquids. We have a 2-week pre-op liquid program, and I was anxious, but I have anxiety issues, so it wasn't that kind of anxious. It was more of a nervousness, because all you've done is prepare for this moment to start putting all of these tools into action, whether it is your meal plans or your mental plans and goals and things like that. And later I'll show you some of the things that I've done, because I'm a little bit over the top, and I'll pop in some photos of the food that I started out with. I'm on day 2. It is 12 o'clock on my second day of liquids, and I'm okay. I'm not super cranky. I've had mild hunger, but nothing that made me feel like I needed to raid whatever I could. The hardest part for me is not going over my protein and still getting the calories that I need to get for the day. A lot of you will know what that means, but on my plan, they want you to get between 700 and 800 calories per day, and then my specific protein for my body is 67 to 84 grams. And so to get the majority of the protein, I need to drink my Premier shakes, which I love, but I can only have 2, and then I have to kind of make up the other 20 or so grams of protein outside of that. And it's kind of hard to not go over, because the things that I have that have protein in them are really high protein, and then I have a couple of little things that just have little bits, and so, you know, to get the calories, I need to eat more of the little bits, but then that puts me over the protein. It's a whole head thing. Checking back in on my liquid diet, I have completed 5 days. I'm in my 6th day. It is, what time? 12:30 on day 6. I don't know if I've told you, I'm a youth director. I had a lock-in on Friday night. It was probably the hardest part so far. Just having all of the food and then not having anything but liquids, being up all night and not having caffeine. That was a little bit of a struggle, but if that's as worse as it gets, it's not terrible. I have been having thoughts of food, and so that's kind of been annoying. It's all in all not awful, not nearly as bad as I thought it would be, and it's easier to stick to. Pre-op coming up next week. Today's Sunday. I don't know if I said that. And so Tuesday I have all my pre-op testing to do, and we'll see how it goes. So I just wanted to check in. I guess I'll tell you what I've been eating. I have been having a lot of course, protein shakes, pudding, sugar-free Jello. The pudding is sugar-free also. I tend to think that the Jello that you make, the pudding that you make with Fairlife milk is more filling than the little snack packs, but I do have the snack packs on hand as well, just in case. 000 Greek yogurt has been a staple. And then I've really been loving Progresso light soups. Everything else has been feeling good, everything's functioning normally, and I think that's it. So I'll check in again through the liquid diet. Okay, I think my camera's crooked. I'm a hot mess. My hair is greasy. I really don't have on any makeup today, but I'm trying to keep this real, and it is day 7. I'm in day 7 of my liquids, and last night I seriously crashed. Like, no energy, feeling super zapped. I slept really late today. I just watched a YouTube video, I can't remember who, and they talked about how sleep was one of their best friends during their liquids, and I've been trying not to sleep too much because I have a tendency to use sleep to like cover up my depression issues and things like that, and so if I sleep too much I tend to get depressed. But it definitely helped a lot. And then I just went, and I'm gonna show you, and got some coconut soup from one of my local favorite Thai. You can kind of see it. This is my little baby spoon. I got the spoon on Amazon. It's called Health FX Bariatric flatware, and it comes in a little case so that you can take some to go, and they come in sets of 2, and I think I got 2. But this soup has made me feel like a real person. I of course strained it just to get the green onions and things, but it doesn't have a lot, and sorry. And like, it doesn't have a lot of things to strain out of it, and it actually went in really well on my Bariatric app. It had some protein in there, and it was low carb, a good amount of calories for the day, so it's definitely making me feel more human. I'm glad I waited. I had that plan to get coconut soup. I'm not 100% sure that it is approved by my nutritionist. I hope to ask her and maybe get back to you on that. I again have been having a lot of the Progresso soups, and the gumbo is one of my favorites because it just has a more flavorful quality to it. It's a tomato base, but it has a lot of other flavors, and it smells more like it's a full meal. But I did want to get on here and come clean. So low energy, and it is all caught up with me. So, but I do feel re-energized after having a little bit of that soup, and I'm about to finish it. So I will keep you posted. So I'm on day 11 of my 14-day liquid diet, and still making it okay. I have gone back and watched footage of the other days that I entered in, and forgive my editing, I had to crop out about 1 billion ums. My brain just wasn't firing on a few of those days. It's part of the liquid diet, I think. When you hit your energy crash, kind of, it really does take a toll, and it makes the way that you think maybe a little bit slower. It did for me. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been eating. I went through, like I mentioned before, I have gone through a bunch of YouTube videos to find different tips and tricks and all of that kind of thing. And what I see a lot of is people showing their first haul of what they bought for their liquid diet, or maybe their pureed stage as well. And what I don't see is what worked and what didn't, and the good and bad things that they had. And so I wanted to show you some of the things that I really have enjoyed. Of course, I have a few things that I want to check with my nutritionist to make sure that they were appropriate for the liquid diet, but I'm not going to do that until after surgery. And because I'm only 3 days away. So one of those things is this Panera bread baked potato soup. Now, you can have cream-based soups on my particular liquid diet, but it did say that they were supposed to be reduced fat or fat-free. This is absolutely not either, but when I strained it, it strained out really well, and the stats looked really good on the back. This was a lifesaver for several days during this diet. If I was just really hungry and needed something filling, then this is what I would go to. I did not have it every day by any means, and I didn't even have it multiple days in a row, but this was a great option to have during the liquid diet. Okay, a few other things that I had during this liquid diet that I really enjoyed besides the sweet treats and yogurt and things like that was this Nana Lim coconut lime chicken bone broth. I found it in the organic food section, freezer section at my local Walmart. I live in Walmart country, so that's our grocery store. And this was a great option, and it definitely filled all of the requirements, but it is very light and does not have a lot of protein in it. So it was just kind of a good snack to have, especially if I needed to fill in calories for the day. And then I had this other day, and I bought this at the very beginning, and I kind of was saving it. I saved a lot of things that I knew I would like for the days that I knew I would be desperate for something different. So like I mentioned before, the coconut soup was one of those things from the restaurant, and then this coconut soup that is in this little container is very similar to coconut soup from a restaurant. There's just a lot less cream involved. And then the thing that I tried that I bought in the beginning, sorry I got off subject, is this Bonafide Provisions butternut squash bone broth. And it was really good. It definitely added a different flavor to the day. Now it has a lot of sugars in it, and so I only had half of this for a snack during the day, which made the stats appropriate for where I was. And what I didn't do throughout this process was add protein to anything, and you can do that if you're lacking your protein and having higher calorie liquids. I just didn't choose to do that. I'm going to wait to do that until after. I recently found a video of someone who was showing what they were making through their pureed stage, and there's a lot of people that will say what I eat in a day and things like that, but I definitely was looking for more information, and I'm sorry I don't really have much more to give you other than the sugar-free Jello pudding. I, again, like it made with Fairlife milk. I did the Jello snack packs for just something easy to grab. The Oricanos or Orcanos 000 Greek yogurt. I've tried every flavor that they have to offer. Several of them I like. Every now and then, which my sweet tooth has really lessened over time. I started out drinking a lot of Crystal Light, and now I have to water it down a lot. But every now and then I want something sweet, and sometimes the Greek yogurt with certain flavors like orange or peach or banana, the flavoring is not enough for me. I can so I'll add Splenda to it is what I'm saying. The strawberry, the mixed berry, I can do just fine without anything. And so that's what I've been eating. The Jellos I've been eating not as often. I've kind of gone sparingly on those because I anticipate those being a staple post-op. So again, I've just tried to space out things as much as I can so that I don't get too burned out. I'm definitely ready for purees, and so many people have said that purees are not as awesome as you think because you get burned out. And so I've already been searching for different recipes and things like that, and I hope to bring those to you after I get there. But I do have 2 more weeks, so 17 more days of liquids until I even get to that place. But I'm 3 days out from surgery. I've lost 12 pounds on the liquid diet, and I anticipate to have lost about probably 15 pounds by surgery date, which is in the next 3 days. But I have been dropping a pound to a pound and a half, almost, you know, especially in these last few days. In the beginning it was slower, it was more right under a pound and things like that. So it's good to see that pound dropping. I'm not an advocate for weighing every day. I do weigh every day, but I know that that can get a lot of people down. It doesn't tend to bother me very much, but because I like to keep track of it and know that what I'm eating is working, or maybe if I'm having something that's making the scale go up, then the next day I need to do lighter things or different things or look for less salt and things like that. The other thing that I had done recently was a sleep test. I had to have that done before surgery, and I was very much thinking, okay, I'm not gonna get a CPAP. I don't want to pay for that, and you know, I'm having this surgery, so my sleep apnea is gonna go away anyway. Well, then I met with the I went for my sleep consult, and they were like, well, your metabolism slows down if you're not getting adequate sleep, and if you do need a CPAP, and so that could slow down your weight loss. And I was like, oh, I'm not having anything impede this surgery. So I went for my sleep test 2 nights ago, and it went really well. I'll kind of run through that. I'll put a picture in of what the room looked like and what the camera looked like that watched you and what I looked like. And it is heavily filtered because I was a hot mess. But so you get to the sleep center, and I got to my sleep center at 7:30, and they just kind of check you into your room. There were several rooms. There were a lot of people, so it takes a while to get everybody settled. But they come in and they give you a survey to fill out about what your most recent sleep was and what medications you're on. Make sure not to take, if you're prescribed a sleep aid for that evening, do not take it until they tell you. That was something that my nurse was so thankful for. He kept saying that, you know, most people get there at 7:30 and immediately take their sleep pill that they've been prescribed, and then they're about to pass out, and the sleep test doesn't really even start until 10:30 or 11 o'clock. So what I did in that time was really a lot of waiting. I eventually, so they came in, did the survey, they left. I changed into my pajamas, brushed my teeth, did all that. Of course, I still was trying to get my water in for the day, and so I essentially got ready for bed, watched some TV, and then the nurse came back in and put all of the electrodes, or whatever they're called, all over me. There were 2 on each leg. There was a band around my waist, a band around my chest, and one on my neck, which I still have. It looks like a hickey from it. It's huge. And then a bunch in your hair and around here on your face, 1 on each side, 1 on your chin. These itched me a lot because they use this weird glue paste stuff to make them stick, and that drove me crazy. I'm pretty sure I had 1 behind each ear, but they measure your head and do all the stuff to do it. And so my room was set up to where there was an intercom constantly running, and so if I needed anything I could just say, hey, nurse's name, come in, you know, I need to go to the restroom, whatever. But once they hooked me all up, I could wear the little pack of electrodes around my neck so I could go to the restroom and do all that kind of stuff while I waited until they were ready for me to go to sleep. Oh, before that, they came in and I tested CPAP mask. And so that was kind of a challenge because I wasn't really a big fan of any of them. And so anyways, eventually they come in and you get into bed to go to sleep. I took my sleep pill, and I think that was about 10:50. And of course I had to go to the restroom once he left, and so I just had to say on the intercom, hey, can you come? I need to go to the restroom, and he did, and that was quick. And then I know once during the night I had one of the electrodes come off and I could feel it, and so I, even with my eyes closed, I just said, hey, come in, this thing came off, and I just held it and they came in, and I never even opened my eyes. I was such a prima donna. And then they came in about 1:30 and put a CPAP mask on me, just because I'm sure that I was having some either snoring or what do they call it? Maybe I stopped breathing or something like that, because they're monitoring you the whole time. So when they did that, I went ahead and went to the restroom then. And it took me a while to go back to sleep after that. But they said that I got plenty of sleep from 1:30 to 5:30. I got deep sleep. And so then they come in at 5:30 and wake you up, and they offered coffee and things of course I can't have. So I had my water, and so they came in to wake you up. They left, then they came back and got you out and took all the stuff off of you and let you wash it all off and get ready and go home. And that was pretty much it. It wasn't anything super exciting, but just in case you're wondering what it's like, that's what it's like. I think that's pretty much all I have. This is a long video because I wanted to go ahead and just put all of the liquids and pre-op stuff in together. And then my next video will be coming post-surgery, or including surgery day. So I'm excited for that, and thank you for watching. I hope some of this information was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye.